The alien class learned about Earth's deadliest plants, then noticed what the human had for lunch, though. Alien classroom buzzed with excitement and fear as the holographic display flickered to life. Rows of students from many worlds sat stiffly, their eyes fixed on the glowing images that filled the air. They were about to study some of the deadliest plants in the universe, and they all expected to learn of Earth's flora as just another set of dangers among many. But they had no idea what awaited them. Professor Veln, a tall insectoid with shimmering wings, cleared his throat. Today, we examine the poisonous plants native to Earth. These plants have evolved to kill or incapacitate most species in the galaxy. We will begin with Ricinus communis, the castor bean plant, whose seeds contain ricin, one of the most lethal poisons known. The classroom fell silent as the image zoomed in on the small, seemingly harmless seed. Just one of these can kill a creature many times larger than a human. There is no known antidote, Velen said gravely. Alien students exchanged nervous glances. Ahala displayed more plants. Atropa belladonna, known as deadly nightshade, with berries that can stop. Hartsnerium, oleander, beautiful yet fatal. And the infamous dendroconide moroids, a plant so painful it has been nicknamed the suicide tree. The class shuddered as the professor explained. How touching even a single leaf of the suicide tree caused agony so intense some victims begged for. Death suddenly a human student in the back of the room, Carter calmly unpacked his lunch. Unlike the terrified aliens, he seemed completely at ease. The aromas wafting from his container were strange but oddly inviting. Curious eyes turned toward him as he bit into a leaf of what looked like a bright green plant, one that the aliens had just learned was deadly toxic. The reaction was immediate. Carter smiled, chewed carefully, and swallowed. Whispers rippled through the class. "How can he eat that? Doesn't it kill him?" a Yorlok student asked, eyes wide with disbelief. Professor Veln raised a wing to hush the murmurs. Humans have a unique physiology that allows them to tolerate many toxins that would be fatal to others. It is part of why they survive on a planet filled with dangers. The aliens watched in amazement as Carter pulled out a small container of something that looked like sauce and dipped his food into it. "It's called salsa," Carter explained when asked. "We use it to add flavor. Some of its ingredients are made from plants you'd never want to touch." The class grew silent again, pondering the contradiction, a species living on a planet filled with poisonous plants, yet eating some of the most dangerous ones without harm, as the lesson continued. Holograms showed how humans have learned to process these plants, boiling, fermenting, and combining to neutralize poisons. Some toxins humans have even turned into medicines. One alien student whispered, "It's like they turned poison into power." Carter nodded. "Exactly. We don't fear the plants around us. We learn their secrets, and we use them to survive and thrive." The class ended with a final warning from Professor Veln. "Remember, these plants are not just Earth's weapons. They are a warning. Humans have adapted to a world where nature itself can kill, and they have turned that danger into strength." As the students filed out, eyes lingered on Carter. No one could deny it. Earth's humans were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. And if they could eat death itself for lunch, what else might they be capable of? The question hung in the air, thick with suspense and fear, as the door closed behind them. After the unsettling class about Earth's deadliest plants, whispers spread through the academy like wildfire. How could one species, these aliens wondered, eat such dangerous things and walk away unharmed? The answer seemed impossible, yet Carter the human did exactly that every day, without even thinking twice. The next day, the xenobiology department invited Carter to join a private lecture. The room was filled with scholars and curious students from dozens of species. Holographic models of cells, toxins, and plants floated above their heads, casting strange lights on faces full of wonder and fear. Professor Veln stood at the front again, more serious this time. "We are here to study the human immune system," he announced. "It is unlike any other in the galaxy. While other species fall quickly to toxins, humans show a resilience that defies logic." The lecture began with simple explanations. human white blood cells, antibodies, and how they fight off foreign invaders. But what caught everyone's attention was how humans adapt rapidly. When exposed to poisons, the body doesn't just protect itself. It often grows stronger. Humans can develop immunity to venom, poison, and disease faster than most, Professor Veln explained. Their bodies learn, change, and improve. A Yorlok student raised a trembling hand. But how? Is different in their biology? The professor paused as if waiting for the right words. Their cells regenerate faster, and their digestive systems neutralize toxins before they cause damage. Their liver and kidneys are highly efficient at filtering poisons. But more than that, humans have evolved over millennia on a planet filled with dangers. Their survival depends on it. Carter listened quietly, nodding. He had heard these facts before, but seeing the amazement in alien eyes made him realize how rare his kind really was. Suddenly, a Sylthan scholar leaned forward, voice low. What about their nervous system? How can they feel pain and still continue? Without collapse? Carter smiled faintly. We don't ignore pain. We respect it, but we don't let it stop us. It's a signal, not a chain. The room fell silent. The aliens were beginning to understand the human mindset, a stubborn refusal to give up, no matter the cost. Professor Veln switched the hala to show real case studies. Images of humans surviving snake bites, scorpion stings, and poisonous plant ingestion flashed on the screen. Each story was more unbelievable than the last. One showed a human named Jenna, bitten by a venomous serpent in the Amazon. She walked 5 miles to the nearest village before seeking help alive, alert and determined. Another displayed a group of scientists who ingested small amounts of deadly plant extracts as part of their research, while others would have collapsed. These humans became stronger after controlled exposure. The alien students gasped. This was no ordinary survival. This was evolution in action. Humans don't just survive poisons, Professor Veln concluded. They harness them. They turn death into power. After the lecture, Carter was approached by several students. Some wanted to learn, others simply stared in disbelief. A young Trellick asked, "Do you ever fear what your body can't handle?" Carter shook his head. "Fear doesn't help. Understanding does. We respect the power of poison. That's why. We learn how to control it." The whispers outside the lecture hall grew louder. Humans were no longer just another species in the galaxy. They were something else, something stronger. That night, as Carter prepared for rest, he felt a quiet determination. His kind had survived against all odds, not just because of their bodies, but because of their minds. The galaxy might fear Earth's deadliest plants, but it had yet to face the full strength of those who could eat them and live. The news about the human's strange ability spread quickly through the academy, from the smallest insectoid to the towering reptilians. Everyone whispered about how Carter and his people survived poisons that would kill others instantly. But surviving was not enough to explain the mystery. Aliens wanted to know more. How did humans turn deadly plants into food? How could something so toxic become a normal part of their lives? In a specially arranged field trip, a group of alien students accompanied Carter to a small greenhouse on the academy grounds. The greenhouse was filled with plants from Earth, many of which were known for their lethal properties. The air smelled sharp and strange. Carrying faint hints of chemicals and earth, Carter walked slowly among the plants, touching leaves lightly and explaining their dangers. "This one is called poison ivy," he said. "It causes itching and rashes. We avoid it, but some people even use it for medicine in small amounts." He stopped at a small bush with dark berries. "It's deadly nightshade," Carter said. "Berries are toxic. Eating too many can stop your heart, but in small doses. It can be used to treat certain illnesses." The alien students looked skeptical. How could anyone risk eating poison? Carter smiled. Humans learn to prepare these plants carefully. We boil, ferment, and mix them with other ingredients to make them safe. It's a skill passed down from generation to generation. He showed them a small table filled with dishes made from these plant spicy sauces, bitter teas, even sweet desserts. The aliens looked unsure, but curious.
Ow.
One brave Sylthan took a tiny bite of a sauce. The taste was sharp and fiery, but not deadly. The lesson deepened their respect and fear. Humans didn't just avoid danger, they embraced it and transformed it. Later, Carter explained that the process of eating poisonous plants was more than survival, it was tradition. Our ancestors lived in wild places filled with danger. Learning. To eat these plants was a way to live, made us stronger. An alien student whispered, "It's like you eat death and turn it into life." Yes, Carter agreed. We take what could kill us and make it part of who we are. Back at the academy, this knowledge spread quickly. Many students wondered if the human ability to handle poison was linked to their mental strength. Humans, after all, did not just accept danger, they seemed to seek it out. Professor Velm gathered the class again. The human relationship with poison is unique. It is not just physical. It is cultural, psychological, even spiritual. This is why they survive where others fail. A Yorlok student spoke up. But what does this mean for the galaxy? Can humans be controlled or predicted if they use poisons as weapons? The professor's eyes darkened. That is the question we must answer. Because humans are not just survivors, they are transformers, and that makes them unpredictable. As the day ended, the aliens looked at Carter with new eyes. He was not just a student. He was a living mystery, a walking contradiction, who ate death and lived stronger in the quiet moments. Carter thought about his own people, their history, their struggles. For humans, survival was not a simple goal. It was a battle fought every day with every bite taken, and the galaxy was only beginning to understand the true meaning of eating death, fanned living strong. The mystery of human survival fascinated the scholars of the Academy more than any other subject. The question wasn't just how humans ate poison, but why they could live through it and even gain strength from it. To find answers, the Academy's top scientists began to study human biology. In chemistry with intense focus, they wanted to uncover the secret science behind humanity's remarkable resilience in the bright, sterile laboratory filled with blinking machines and glowing screens. Carter stood quietly as alien scientists examined samples of his blood, saliva, and tissue. They ran countless tests, measuring enzyme levels, immune responses, and genetic markers. The hum of machines filled the air while experts from many worlds discussed their findings in rapid bursts of alien language. Professor Veln explained to the gathered students, "Human bodies produce special enzymes that break down poisons faster than any other species we know. Their livers and kidneys have evolved to filter harmful substances almost instantly." One of the alien scientists, a slender Sylthan with delicate fingers, added, "What's most fascinating is the human body's ability to chemically alter toxins. They transform dangerous compounds into harmless or even beneficial ones. This process is far more efficient than any known detox system." Carter listened, proud but calm. For humans, this wasn't science. It was survival passed down through generations. The research revealed that humans had evolved alongside Earth's deadliest plants, developing natural defenses against poisons that would cripple or kill other creatures. Their digestive systems were flexible, able to adapt quickly to new toxins, and their immune systems learned fast to fight threats. But beyond the physical, scientists discovered something more mysterious, a chemical in human brains that increased pain tolerance and boosted focus during stress. This chemical, called endorphins, acted like a natural shield, allowing humans to keep functioning even when injured or poisoned. A Trellick student asked, "Could this explain why humans don't collapse under poison attacks?" Professor Velny nodded. Yes, their minds and bodies work together. They use pain and danger to fuel their willpower. Carter shared stories of how his ancestors had intentionally exposed themselves to small amounts of toxins to build immunity. This was not reckless. It was carefully controlled. A method honed over centuries. Alien scholars debated whether this made humans natural survivors or something more, a species evolved to thrive on danger. A Yorlik student leaned forward. Humans chemically change poisons. Does that mean they could turn those poisons into weapons? The room fell silent. The question hung heavy. Professor Velney answered slowly. It is possible. Their science is advanced and focused on survival. We must watch carefully. Outside the lab, Carter thought about the power hidden in his blood and mind. For humans, science was more than discovery. It was a tool for survival and strength. They did not fear poison because they understood it. They controlled it. The galaxy, however, was only beginning to realize the full meaning of that control. The day of the human test arrived with a quiet tension that filled every corner of the academy. Word had spread fast. The human Carter would demonstrate his immunity to Earth's deadliest toxins before an audience of scholars and students. From many worlds, some watched with excitement, others with doubt, and a few with thinly veiled fear. They wanted proof. Proof that humans really could survive what no other species could. The test site was a large chamber equipped with sensors, medical devices, and holographic records. Aliens filled the seats, their eyes sharp, waiting for the moment when Carter would face the ultimate challenge. Carter stepped forward calmly, carrying a small vial filled with a bright green liquid, an extract from the plant known as the suicide tree, famous for its unbearable pain and deadly toxins. The room fell silent. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. Professor Veln spoke first. This toxin has ended many lives across the galaxy. No species can endure it. Today, Carter will show us what makes humans different. Carter nodded and uncorked the vial. Without hesitation, he applied the toxin to a small patch of his skin. Almost immediately, a burning sensation spread across. The area his face twitched, but he held firm. The aliens gasped. No one moved. Carter's eyes flickered with pain, but he refused to flinch. Minutes passed, then Carter smiled. The pain didn't disappear, but it became something else, a challenge. An energy next. Carter ingested a small, carefully measured dose of the toxin under strict medical supervision. Everyone held their breath. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, Carter's body stiffened, his breathing deepened. His muscles tensed. But his face showed no fear, only focus. The observers watched in awe as Carter's skin flushed red, and his veins seemed to pulse with energy suddenly. Carter flexed his fingers, the burning spreading but controlled. Pain is a signal, he said quietly. It does not stop me. Professor Veln nodded slowly. This is not just survival. This is transformation, the crowd whispered. Some exchanged fearful looks. The human was not just enduring poison. He was growing stronger. Carter then demonstrated how the toxin triggered his body's defenses. His immune system kicked into overdrive, repairing damage, neutralizing the poison, and even using the energy to sharpen his senses. An alien student whispered to another, "It's like the poison fuels him." Carter's demonstration was both a warning and a lesson. Humans did not merely survive the deadliest plants. It turned poison into power. The test ended with Carter standing tall, pain evident but conquered. The aliens left the chamber in stunned silence, minds racing. Outside, the air was thick with speculation. Was humanity a threat, an unknown force, or a key to new understanding? Carter looked at the stars above, knowing this was only the beginning. The galaxy's perception of humans was changing forever. The demonstration had sent shockwaves through the academy and beyond. What the humans had revealed was more than survival. It was a power others could barely comprehend. Into urgent discussions, the idea that humans could use poisons, not just to live, but as weapons, sparked a new wave of fear across the galaxy, in the dark corridors of the Academy's intelligence wing. Carter met with a small group of trusted allies. They were from different species, but shared a common goal: to understand the full extent of human. Capabilitiesa Yorlock. Strategist leaned forward. Your people's ability to harness poisons, could it be used in war, to weaken or destroy enemies silently? Carter's eyes narrowed. Humans don't seek war, but we prepare for it. We use what nature gives us. Poison is just another tool, like fire or steal. Sylphan scientist added, there are rumors of secret human programs designed to weaponize plant toxins. Are these true? Carter nodded slowly. We have studied poisons not just to survive, but to protect. Toxins have been adapted into medicines, others into weapons. It's careful work. The group fell silent. The stakes were clear. If humans could turn Earth's deadliest plants into weapons, the balance of power in the galaxy could shift overnight. Meanwhile, news of these human abilities reached the Galactic Council. Debates flared. Some called for peace and understanding, while others demanded caution and preparation for possible conflict. On distant planets, military forces began to adjust strategies. Intelligence units increased surveillance of human settlements. The question on everyone's mind, how far would humans go to defend themselves, or to fight? Back at the academy, Carter's life grew more complicated. Alien students and officials looked at him with a mix of respect and wariness. Some wanted to learn, others to challenge. One evening, a cloaked figure approached Carter. You hold a dangerous secret, the visitor whispered. Be careful whom you trust. Carter nodded. He knew the path ahead would be difficult. Humans had unlocked a power few understood, but with power came responsibility and risk. That night, Carter stood beneath the stars, thinking about the fire inside every human. It was a fire born from Earth's wild dangers, from plants that could kill and poisons that could end lives. But humans had done the impossible. They had taken poison and made it power. And now the galaxy was watching, waiting to see what they would do next. The tension in the galaxy was growing thicker every day. News about humans' unique ability to survive and harness poisons had spread far and wide, stirring both awe and fear among alien species. Some saw humans as fascinating survivors, while others saw them as dangerous wild cards that could upset the delicate balance of power. To settle their doubts, a bold alien faction issued a test of survival skills and endurance between humans and one of the galaxy's toughest warrior races. The Calthor. The challenge was set on a remote, barren planet known for its harsh environment and deadly flora. The world was chosen carefully. It was a place where only the strongest could survive. The Calthor warriors were confident. They believed their natural toughness and battle experience would easily outmatch the humans. The humans, led by Carter, accepted without hesitation. For them, this was more than a contest. It was a chance to prove their place in the galaxy. As the competition began, the Calthar showed their strength. Their bodies were covered in thick scales, their muscles rippling with power. They moved, quickly hunting down dangerous creatures and avoiding poisonous plants with ease. Their confidence was clear as they looked at the humans with disdain. But the humans had something else, a deep understanding of Earth's poisons and how to use them. Carter led his team carefully through the terrain, identifying deadly plants and showing how they could be handled or even used as weapons. The humans ate strange berries, touched sharp leaves, and breathed the thick, toxic air without faltering. The Calthor watched, their surprise growing. The humans didn't just survive. They thrived in the hostile environment. They moved with purpose, using the dangers around them to their advantage. Carter's team set traps using poisons extracted from plants, turning the land itself into a weapon. As days passed, the competition became a brutal game of endurance. The Calthor fought fiercely, but began to respect the humans' cunning and resilience. The humans, in turn, respected the Calthor's raw strength and fighting skill. It was a battle not just of power, but of will. One night, around a small fire, Carter spoke quietly. We survive because we learn from danger. We don't just avoid death, we use it. The Calthor leader, a towering warrior named Rax, nodded slowly. Your people are unlike any I've met. Your strength is not just in your bodies, but in your minds. The final day arrived with both teams exhausted but unbroken. The judges declared the contest a draw, not because either side was weak, but because both had earned respect. The Calthor extended a hand of friendship to the humans, a rare gesture among their fierce kind. Back on the Academy ship, rumors spread fast. Humans had not only survived the alien challenge, but it changed how the galaxy saw them. No longer just tough survivors. They were warriors with minds sharper than any blade. Carter looked out at the stars, knowing this was only the beginning. The galaxy's greatest challenges lay ahead. But now, humanity had proven one undeniable truth. They were not to be underestimated. The day had come. The moment when the galaxy would finally understand what it meant to face humanity. The news of the alien challenge had spread like wildfire, changing whispers into open talks and fear into respect. But the real test was yet to come, something deeper and more personal. The human bite. It wasn't just a gesture. It was a symbol, a message. For centuries, humans had survived harsh environments, deadly poisons, and countless enemies. The bite, a simple act of eating and enduring the worst nature could offer, carried the strength of generations. Carter stood in front of a crowd gathered on a massive space station orbiting Earth, representatives from dozens of species. Military, leaders, scientists, and diplomats filled the grand hall. The atmosphere was tense, charged with anticipation. Carter held a small piece of a strange plant, a species so toxic that mere contact was deadly. The crowd watched in silence as he brought it to his lips and bit down. A sharp gasp swept through the poison spread fast. But Carter's expression remained calm. His body reacted quickly. His immune system flared, neutralizing the toxins. His senses sharpened, pain transformed into energy. He chewed slowly, deliberately, sending a clear signal to everyone watching. This was humanity's greatest strength. Not just survival, but transformation. The ability to turn death into life, poison into power. As Carter swallowed, he spoke into the silence. We do not fear the dangers around us. We learn them, we use them, and we grow stronger. The crowd erupted in applause, some clapping with respect, others standing in awe. For the first time, many truly understood what it meant to face humans, back in the shadows. Some leaders whispered of alliances, others of caution. The bite was a turning point, a warning and a promise. The galaxy would never be the same. Carter looked out at the stars, knowing the journey ahead would be long and difficult. But one thing was clear. Humanity had taken the bite, and the entire galaxy had learned to fear them.